Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu salam ala Rasulullah. We continue reading from Imam Al-Ghazali's On Disciplining the Soul, Kitab Riyad al-Nafs. We are on page 11 of the text of the translation. The very last hadith that we dealt with was the uh, hadith of Anas radiallahu anh, that connected a good character with felicity, happiness, sa'ada. And we said that the chain of narrators is weak, as this is, of course, the Imam al-Iraqi's verification. But again, as we have maintained through and through, that if we deal with the meaning of the hadith rather than with the chain narrators, we will find that, of course, good character is related to happiness. People who are they lack good character, they suffer from many things. I mean, name it. If there are certain addictions, for example, and there are many types, it could be gambling, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be porn. All these are um, addictions, and I've seen the images of the brain of a healthy person and images of the brain of an alcoholic, and you can see difference not only in the color, but it's almost like forgetting a piece of meat on a grill. It is like fried, literally, and the same thing. Um, there are certain hard drugs that even if you use once, the destruction of the brain is irreversible. So, good character is related to happiness, and in marriage, for example, in the relationship between two generations, with parents, for example, and it's just like it's good character. Definitely, there will be happiness, inshallah. We continue reading, and he said, meaning Anas, he said, good character is auspiciousness. Here, auspiciousness is a translation of yumn, and one might say that it's a good omen if one has good character. The chain of narrators again here is weak, and it seems that the origin of this hadith is Ali bin Abi Talib, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a'la wa a'lam, rather than the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is why here it did not say Anas said that the Prophet said. Anas said good character is auspiciousness. Yumn. Al-yumnu husn al-khuluq. Then there is a hadith of Abu Dhar. The Prophet ﷺ said to Abu Dhar, "O Abu Dhar, there is no intelligence like foresight, and no lineage like good character." There is no intelligence. There is no intelligence like foresight. It's كالتدبير, and there is a sense, on one level, like it's managing one's affairs based on uh, a true understanding of the Islamic worldview of the law, the Sharia that is. It is related on the authority of Anas that Habiba radiallahu anha, she asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said, she once said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "O emissary of God, Ya Rasulullah, what if a woman had two husbands in this world, and she died, and they died also, and all were received into heaven? Whose wife would she then be?" And he replied, "The wife of him whose character was best when in the world. O Habiba, good character brings all that is good in this world and the next." The chain of narrators uh, is again weak, but definitely people would worry about the first thing first. This is not about Habib, of course. One should worry about making it to paradise. There are zero negative feelings in paradise. If you talk about jealousy in this world, there is no jealousy there. If you talk about hatred here, there is no hatred there. If you talk any negative feeling that we have in this life, there is no such a thing. There is no ghil, as the it will be uprooted from the hearts. It's a state of felicity. Nothing would uh, pollute that state of felicity, eternal happiness in paradise. And he said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the rightly guided Muslim attains the degree of him who fasts and prays at length merely through his good character and noble nature. And in another version, we read, the degree of him who is thirsty during the midday heat through fasting. And you can imagine when the Prophet ﷺ speaks about midday heat, and we speak about the Arabian Peninsula, it's a pretty hot place. Now, the chain of narrators include one narrator, a particular his case, so that when if you come across that Ibn Lahiya was part of the chain of narrators, and this weakens the uh, the chain of narrators. Ibn Lahiya was a judge in Egypt, a jurist, trustworthy, excellent character. So why his hadith is considered weak? Let it be known that in the year 169 of the Islamic calendar, his books, uh, his books of hadith that he collected were burnt. There was a fire, and his books were burnt. And it seems that thereafter, his narration was not that sound. So it's not that he does not enjoy excellent, really character. It's about he used to his notes, as we say, to disseminate, to narrate the hadith, but thereafter his narration it seems was mixed up, if you will. Abdul Rahman ibn Samura said, again, this is a weak chain of narrators. We were once with God's emissary, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he said, "Yesterday I beheld a remarkable thing. I saw a man from my nation, from my ummah, that is, because the word nation might be used today to describe constructed nationhood, and the nation state is a modern phenomenon, a modern concept. People constructed really nationhood, and often this entailed uh, supremacy, which is manifested uh, in the colonial project in Palestine. Yeah, Hitler uh, constructed a certain um ethos of the supremacy of the Aryan race. And so here it's about the Ummah, and the Ummah is inclusive of all races, ethnicities, from the North Circle to Cape Town and Indonesia, the Pacific Islands, uh, all the way around. So the all continents, all places, all ethnicities, all cultures. We have Muslims from all over the places, native people from different parts of the world. This is the concept of the Ummah. It's different from nation. So the hadith, though it is live, weak. Yesterday I beheld a remarkable thing. I saw a man from my nation crouching on his knees, being divided from God by a veil, being like he was deprived of the direct company, presence. Then the hadith is augmented with the following phrase: then his good character came and brought him into God's presence, meaning that it interceded on his behalf. This is daif, and obviously the intercession would be permitted to whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills, such as we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam the shafa'ah, the intercession on the day of judgment. And we know from the hadith that the other prophets would shy away from interceding, and people would really come to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anas said, the emissary of God sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a bondsman, al-abd, the servant of God, may attain through his good character high and noble degrees in the afterlife, even though he be feeble in his worship. So good character would compensate. This is not, of course, a call. It has a good chain of narrators, this hadith. إن العبد لا يبلغ بحسن خلقه عظيم درجات الآخرة السترة. The it simply highlights the importance of good character. It doesn't mean that you become weak in your worship, and you'd say that, well, I have good character. Inshallah, you do, but good character, good uh, performance, with the heart being present in all acts of worship, sincerity. Remember, إنما الأعمال بالنيات. Verily, actions will be accounted for according to intention. No egoism. That's very important to remember. It is related that Umar, radiallahu anh, may God be pleased with him, once asked permission the enter of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who had with him to enter into the presence of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and who and there were many women there, and their voice was loud. So we'll read the text. Who had with him, with the Prophet ﷺ, some women of Quraysh, the tribe of Quraysh, Meccans, who were talking to him in voices loud enough to drown out his own. So they could not even hear the Prophet ﷺ because of their loud voice. They were loud, that's what it is. When Umar asked leave to enter, they rushed behind the screen. And when he entered, God's emissary وسلم, was laughing. So that he asked, Umar asked, "What has made you laugh? May my father and mother be your ransom." It's an expression. It's an expression of utmost respect and love. بأبي أنت وأمي. The Prophet ﷺ replied about this, why he laughed. I was surprised at those women who were with me, and who, when they heard your voice, rushed behind the screen. It would be more it would be more proper for them to hold you in awe, O Messenger of God. That's what Umar said. رضي الله عنه. He declared. Then he went over to them, meaning Umar رضي الله عنه, and said, "You enemies of your own selves, are you awed by me and not by God's emissary, sallallahu alaihi wasallam?" And they replied, "Yes, you are sterner and harsher than him." أغلظ وأفظ. It doesn't mean that the Prophet ﷺ, was harsh. Okay, this is really very important to to remember. This hadith, by the way, is agreed upon, narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. So it has one of the highest um, classification of hadith, very sound. So they were afraid of Umar رضي الله عنه. And once I'm done with the reading the hadith, I will say something about Umar ibn Khattab رضي الله عنه. And the Prophet ﷺ said thereafter, "O Ibn al-Khattab, Umar ibn al-Khattab, O Ibn al-Khattab, by him, by Allah, by him in whose hand lies my soul, never does Satan meet you in one valley without turning off into another." This issue of the valley we'll use it to speak about what I said that I will mention. فجا when Umar ibn Khattab migrated from Mecca to Medina, he was the only Muslim to migrate in broad daylight. The others would sneak out of Mecca at night, going through pathways that are not commonly used. Muslims there were two waves of migration to Abyssinia, to Ethiopia, because the Negus was a just king. Some of them from the second wave of migration to Abyssinia went straight forward to Medina, because it was already Prophet ﷺ already was there. It was like a polity without any declarations of independence. It was simply it became a reality But Umar al-Khattab, when he migrated in broad daylight, he challenged even the Meccans. Uh, he addressed the men. He told them, whoever wants his mother to weep for him, to mourn him, he should follow me to this valley, a valley that he used to leave of Mecca. Umar, radiallahu anhu, he was had such a strong character, subhanallah, a true leader, a true, and he was very austere concerning himself when he became the a caliph just after Abu Bakr Siddiq, who was caliph only for 2 years. And he said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, bad character is an unpardonable sin, and assuming the worst is a transgression which produces, meaning it produces evil. This hadith is daif, but definitely if bad character means that one insults people, hurts people, of course that would entail sin. The last hadith for this session, inshallah, and it has so the so we moved from hadith muttafaq alayh, that of Umar bin Khattab an, to this week tradition about bad character is unpardonable sin. Now a hadith has a good chain of narrators, and he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, through his bad character, a man can sink to the lowest tier of hell. So, as a summary, good character is important. It's a source of good deeds. It is related to happiness both in this life and the hereafter. Bad character is bad really for one's life in this life and hereafter, and could land one in hellfire. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. But this is also for the Muslim. Good character is not an alternative to worship. One should really strive hard. It's not about the number. So some people might, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept, they might make dhikr with a counter in the hand. It's not a bad idea if it encourages you, but the number showing up before you should not be the aim. Just think of dhikr as an intimate relationship, a beautiful relationship that should stem from your heart. When you address Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not about the number. Do dhikran kathira, of course. Dhikran kathira, as Sheikh Abdul Karim Afghani, Hafidhullah, told me many, many years ago, maybe 30 years ago. I asked him how much, because how many times you'd make dhikr. Because there are traditions that specify a specific number, but he simply used the Quranic wording, dhikran kathira, without limiting the number. Suffice it, inshallah, for this session, and we'll continue in the next session reading from the narratives, al-athar, and that would be page 13. Until then, subhanakallah wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.